trying to justify bad behavior. Let me say that, right? First and foremost, right? Or whatever. But the way they started it at, it just fed into a whole narrative and stoked flames of how people feeling based on the cherry picked videos that people search for to watch to reinforce how they already feel. One thing I want to say that nobody did say is how white people holding other white people accountable in the situation, right? And I like that because and because and the only reason why I'm saying that is because of the race element that they're trying to spin. I honestly don't think it was about race. I think it was just a fight. The thing is, we seen a lot of fights, right? And we grew up the way we grew up. So it's like business as usual, right? But for them, it's like, oh God, you got the vice president speaking on it. You got the FBI investigating a fucking bar fight. That's crazy. That's crazy. But here's the thing. I'm gonna say this, and this is to black people. You got to care about yourself because all the murders, I'm not spinning it. This not what about ism, but all the stuff that happens and things, nobody comes to the rescue because they think we don't care about each other and we don't care about ourselves. Just like when you go in somebody's house and they writing on the wall, and they track mud in the house versus somebody who take their shoes off at the door. They look at us, the people based on what they see as somebody who walk and track mud through the house versus the person who take their shoes off. And that's not necessarily true, but everybody like to focus on the underbelly. But we got to start caring about ourselves, man. And when things happen, we want the same equal justice, the same swift movement, the same resources to come save somebody, to go find the missing kids or go get who shot that little 5-year-old girl. So, but I don't really think this was about race. It wasn't, but they made it about race. They just was there were a group of people that was fighting. It was on camera. It was ugly seeing that lady get stretched out like that, but that was just a regular bar fight. And this could happen. You see, we watch movies that glamorize people get hit with bar stools, bottles broken on their head, and stuff like that. It's not a new thing. It's just because the way it looked and the way the media wanted to spin it, Fox News grabbed it with a narrative. It's no different when it's a different type of way, and CNN to grab it and make it a certain type of way. But Uncle Marty, let's see what Uncle Marty take is.
I don't have a take because I didn't watch it. I don't want to watch no ignorant stuff. I think it's all just weird. What's happening, people?
What's up, yo? Uncle Marty Buzz, how many Coronas you had? How many Coronas you had, yo?
I had some Jack. I had some crab.
You don't care about nothing.
Man, I had some shrimp. I had some lobster. Man, I had a good time and whatnot, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I honestly, when you sent it over, I ain't even want to watch it because I know, like y'all said, man, like you was mentioning, man, the news going to play the narrative up. Then everything we got that's going on in the government, man, with Taco and man, they just gonna play it up. Everything DEI, whether, like I say, I didn't watch it, but man, they been playing stuff up for years. They always say, oh, black on black crime, all that nonsense, man. It's just the oldest story as long as history been around, man. But yeah.
Go ahead, man. He said he just repeated what I was saying. Well,
no. I'm sorry. I'm just tripping. Go ahead.
I'm not trying.
Will, go ahead. Will, was on you, Mr. Wilcox.
I'm gonna say, Unc, man, America's treating you pretty good. You eating good. You drinking well. I mean, you deserve it. You worked hard, but I agree with what everybody kind of just said. The media, I think one of the primary purposes of the mainstream media, or the corporate banking media, as I like to call it, is to divide and conquer. Is to make us regular people fight over the crumbs while the elites get the whole sandwich, yeah, so I definitely agree. The media is definitely trying to distract us, divide and conquer is definitely the overlying motivation here. At the same time, it really saddens me to hear how much we validate violence. Like, it's so bad for us, regardless of what may or may not be right for our individual futures. As a young man walking down the street, like you said, to jump into any fight is not a good idea, just because the nature of law and order, the cops are going to come and arrest everybody. And so with that in mind, if you're not going to jump into a random skirmish you see, why would you start a fight over something that really has nothing to do with your overarching life goals? I mean, a lot of people say they don't have time for nonsense. And it's like, yeah, I got someplace to be. I've got things in my life that I'm planning for, to one degree or the other. And it's so sad. It does seem like there's a lot of us who don't have those things in the near or far future, preventing them from these like foolish mistakes. Let's say he did call this guy. I mean, from what I heard in the news, a guy kicked the car and called someone N-word. Okay, that's cool. Is that validating me putting some people in the hospital, risking my own freedom? No, it's crazy.
Will, hold on now. Will, they was drinking.
That's part
you
of
ain't even gotta use the N-word. But here's the thing. I hear you, right? But violence is not exclusive to black people. White people fight all the time in the bar with their leather jackets with the sleeves cut off.
Yes.
It's just that we just like to paint the picture that is just us. So hold on. Let's just throw the whole race thing out of it. It's just people. It's people. People fight. People drink and fight. Like, I hear you, right? In a sober mind, when you're in a situation when you gotta think for everybody, right? You got that one. It's just words. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But when people drinking, people fight their wives, their kids, all kinds of stuff. How much more a stranger? And think about it. Y'all, you don't know what type of day these people was having, right? And then here come a free kill. We 100 deep. He don't even know he in danger.
And
his spider senses battery is dead. And he doing all that.
Words hurt. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's why words hurt.
Let me finish my point though. But
words can never hurt you. That's crazy.
No, words, I had to disagree with you. Everybody on the side of my voice can remember something someone said to him or rubbed them wrong to this day. And if not, I would dare to even call you out. So you lie, man. Somebody can remember something.
If your girl say your joint small, and his bigger, that's gonna hurt.
Are you crazy, bro? But so I just think that, man. To piggyback on what you said earlier, if you allow me to interject this real quick, it's just that's a recipe for disaster. But as far as the narrative in general, that's one thing I talk to my wife quite often about. We know how it is in the city. That was point. Even the old Raven Stadium, we worked that day. They rided that stadium. They literally ride. It never hit the news. It never hit the news though.
So they showed it as the last game at the stadium. Right. They was going crazy down.
First of all, I mean, they went hard. I mean, they really went hard. I mean, I couldn't believe it. You talking about get away with murder? Broad daylight. It was an early game.
People there.
So it was really bad. I'm trying to tell you, it was really bad.
I just think it's that I agree with you, Wayne. I just feel like it just wasn't a race thing. I just think that even though he did say he called them a nigga, I don't even think it was a race thing. I just don't think it was. It's just the way it looks. It's just the way it looks. Go ahead. Go, y'all cook. I just don't think it was. Me personally, I just don't think it was about race. I think it was made about race. I think it was just a brawl, and that anything that happened, depending, especially if it's black or white, brown, they're gonna play into it because that's what sells. Like, for instance, right? Think about like Stuff happens to everybody, right? But because of the history of the country, right, when stuff happens to us, whether it be in law enforcement, before body cameras, Rodney King, there's stuff that happened in the country, right? So when it's us, CNN gonna grab it, you know what I'm saying, and spin their narrative, and they could be right, and sometimes it might be a stretch, right? No different than when Fox News grabs something and say he shouldn't have resisted. But every group has a narrative, and sometimes the situation just be, it could have been that, but just because that's what's going to get the clicks. It's about clicks. Nobody care about people. Do you think Fox News care about white people? Really? They just care about views. The same way CNN don't really care about black people. It's all about narratives and getting people to click, ads, and money. Nobody cares about people no more. This shit is just on the internet.
I would say Fox cares about a certain type of white people that we won't name, but everyone could guess.
They don't consider themselves white.
How can you say it's not about race when the people involved say it's about race?
What people?
If it's about race,
the Russian dude left. The Russian dude left. Them Russian dudes.
If it was about race, the people initiated the race card in there by saying the N-word. Everybody, like they say, they want to start the viewing at a particular spot when it just looks terrible. But like you said, everybody knows that it had to escalate from something. But they ain't gonna show you that part, but then they got to show their people in the negative light. So they just want to show you the end result, like they do everything that we ever look at. They show you the end result, and they'll never, especially when it's them, they always show you the end result. They'll never show you the beginning of what happened or why it particularly happened. And if it was about race, like I said, if it was about race, everybody there would have been on him. People were trying to help them. Then nobody speaks about the fact that so many people was trying to help them. That's what I'm saying. Everybody talking about, oh, them black people did that, them black people did that. How many black people was trying to help them? That was actually like, I seen the one black person yank the wig off the girl trying to pull her back. That was somebody black trying to help him, trying to help them people. So like they can't. It's about, it started, the conflict probably started over race, and that's because the guy obviously initiated racing toward us. Like you said, we don't care where we at. We could be 200 black deep, and if 3 white people there, nobody's there is going to be like honky cracker. Nobody's going to be like that. They're going to be helping that man, and they're going to talk to him, and they're going to feel as though that he understands what's going on. That's why he's there. So only time,
if anything, we be like, we be trying to bring them in a circle.
That's what I'm saying. We invite
if anything, that's what it's like. Ain't nobody trying to hurt the white people. We trying to, and that's the thing. Like what Bill said, the narrative they try to paint is that they was on a prowl just looking for white people to mess with. Like, come on, man. It was a brawl. Like, come on, man. Think about when it's just us. This would have happened with or without white people.
You can't believe that. All that was it was an opportunity, I believe. The devil influenced some folk. And I really believe wholeheartedly he trying to start like a race war. And the only people that can control that is us as a people. I mean, it's just a reality. It's almost like you have somebody. Yeah, but the thing, like, give me a second. So if I say something, I'm sorry. If I say something,
it's a little delay. All I was going to say was, in real life, man, we go to work every day. We work together. We laugh together. We friends, best friends. We hang out after work. For the most part, people, it's the internet. And all of us see the same thing, and we look at each other like, what the hell? Or don't even say nothing. But smart people, rational people know better. If you already feel a way, you're going to feel a way. Like, what's the saying? When you're a hammer, everything is a nail. So if you already feel a certain type of way about people, you look, see, there it is. Every chance you get. So, like, yeah.
And that back to what I was saying, bro. Like, the minds of people, like, sometimes people they just look at the outburst. And the same thing the brother was saying, what happened there happened way before a bunch of drinks. You understand what I'm saying? You got to really dig into the lives of some of what people was dealing with. What happened there happened way before that. You got some serious
issues. Do you think they was, so you think it was like racially motivated what happened? Is what you're saying?
Not really. I believe that the media put that spin on that because I really believe really wants to make a race war. I really believe that. Because
all right, but hold on. This is why I want you to answer.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna stop because there's a little delay. I'm gonna ask you a question and I'm gonna be quiet. I want you to elaborate on what you mean by this was something brewing way before that, so we can understand exactly what you mean, so we won't have to guess.
Okay. So what I mean by that, so let me give you an example. Let's say you have a guy, he's ready to be divorced, right? He's a hard working dude. You got a guy on the job, he keep pressing up on him. Then out of the blue, he take a wrench, start busting the guy beside the head. Everybody's like, wow, what happened with this guy? You thinking he just took, no, it didn't happen right then and there. That guy had other things going on. And it just so happened that this person, he was the straw that broke the camel's back. Sometimes when people go to these, I used to party stuff like that. I don't do it anymore, but when people go to these events and stuff like that, a lot of times they're literally dealing with some other things and they're trying to, get some form of outlet. But the thing about it is they open themselves up to other influences. So now you got all this going on, and you got somebody, they said something crazy because everybody just reckless. People not really thinking rational. Some people can't hold what they drinking, so on and so forth. So now you said what? And they see you saying a word disrespecting them, but really they saying what happened about 10 weeks ago too. And they ain't gonna admit that openly. But it's the reality. Oh yeah, my boss called me that and he fired me 10 weeks ago. Or, I don't like how my boss talked to me, even tricked me greasy. All right, so you the one. This your day, you the candidate. So I'm gonna take all this out on you in regards to now that is just one individual. But what I don't care for what the media does, it basically it highlights that to get people who don't even know people or against people. It's a really dangerous thing. Now you got folks. I looked at a preacher. He said something the other day, right? He said he was in a store when O.J. Simpson died. I mean, when O.J. Simpson he got acquitted. He said he was in a store with a bunch of white people. He said when they found out, he said all the white people looked at him like, like what you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? He don't already know this man. You know what I mean? So the media, the news, it has a way, and what bothers me, 90% of it is all fake. So it's like it has a way of, I would say, hypnotizing folks and getting you looped in. And now all of a sudden, I never seen something that can have people that don't know nobody. Now we're at odds. You don't even know me from Adam and Eve, but because I feel about a certain thing, and now we beefing. That's insane, bro. You know what I mean? So I agree with the brother saying, as far as the narrative, you gotta really kind of. It's all right every now and then to step out of line to make sure you're in the right one. And I leave that there.
Man, look, man. Let me tell you, because I don't think Will know. Let me say this, Will. My mother was a Black Panther. I come from nothing but black. You see what I'm saying?
I'm black, that? Y'all. They're biggity black, y'all.
So, but in all honesty, let me tell you a story. I used to work with a skinhead, right? We never had problems. We never had issues because he understood. If you call me out my name, dog, I will dust you. Now, go forward a little while. I ain't gonna say his name, but I used to work at Northeastern Sheet Metal. White guy called me out my name. You know what he said? Niggas dig ditches. Yo, words hurt. Words hurt, especially when you young. Now I can control it. But when you young, words hurt. And it don't matter who they coming from, but they hurt even worse when they come from white people or people that's not in your culture. That hurts. And you never know how a person may feel, how they may react, whether they having a good day or not. If you've been constantly called a dog and they constantly kick that dog, you're going to fight back because that's just human nature. So that's just how I say it, man. Like as I said last week, I respect anybody that respect me. Anybody that work with me will tell you, man, I get rid of black people just like I get rid of white people. I get rid of Hispanic people. I done had some black people go out for me. I done had some white people go out for me. You see what I'm saying? But you can't judge everybody in that, by that same scenario. But when you run into it, it's your obligation to check them. Like, and well, I'm not in construction no more, right? I used to tell anybody that's black that come on the job site, don't you mention nigga, because the minute you start saying that and they call you that, now you mad. So respect yourself. And that's how I look at it, man. I don't, that's where I come from with the whole race relation thing. I ain't gonna get them folks no more than they deserve. No more, no less either. Because that's who I am. Now, however else another black man want to treat them people, by all means. But for me and mine, I'm gonna protect mine.
So I will press a bunch of things, but what we were talking about a few subjects ago about the whole question of whether it's a race thing or not. So many things can be true at the same time. The people doing the hitting are motivated by different things than the people who are trying to stop them from hitting them. So I think when the question of was it a race thing or not, I would say it varies depending on where you were in that scenario. I think for some people it was a race thing, and for some people it was just the right thing to do. Something people think it's the wrong thing. So I think my statement on whether it's a racial thing or not is that it's probably yes and no, depending on who you are involved in that situation. As far as checking people, I think there's so many ways to check people and to assert yourself as a man, as a citizen, as a fully empowered individual in this society. And violence is amongst the lowest ways to do that, in my opinion. I do think there's a time in every man's life where you have to learn to assert yourself physically, but that time is very close to boyhood, in my opinion. There are not many serious jobs where you can validate a full-on brawl between people and keep that job. I feel like a lot of people, regardless of color, the laws of the jungle and the laws of the world we live in now completely mixed up. And so I agree, we should check people at all points in our life. We have to assert ourselves and set boundaries. The way we do so is the way we command the most respect. And again, violence is the lowest form of that, in my opinion. And that's where I stand on that. I'm full black too. I don't feel the need to validate my family's history, but everybody's from the South. Most of us are. I definitely have dealt with my share of what I perceive as prejudice and or racism. At the same time, how do you distinguish an asshole from a racist? That's my question. How do you think, to all of you, how do you distinguish someone who's just a mean-spirited, selfish person and someone who's truly picking on you for your race?
I can answer that. Was somebody yelling nigga or cracker while they attacking you? It's real simple. It ain't really that deep. It's surface stuff, Will. I get what you're saying, and I don't necessarily disagree, right? But the thing is, man, Will, you are 1,000% right. Like you said, everything can be right at the same time, right? But what really did it was seeing that on TV. And it's being white people, because white people don't be doing that for the most part to each other like we be doing it. We just like water under the bridge. That's just a regular fight. You see what I'm saying? But with the politics, like Uncle Marty said, and how with Taco, like he liked to call Trump and them, it's true. You had the vice president speaking on it. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that goes to your point. But it's really, I really just don't think it was about race. People made it about it. I think it was an altercation that was between a black guy, a black guy and a white guy. People was trying to break it up. It turned to what it turned to. Unfortunately, the lady got hit and stretched out, and people saw that, and white people care about white people. That's why when something happened to white people, they vote pass laws and Jesse's laws, Amber Alerts, and stuff like that. They care about each other. I'm not saying we don't care about each other. I'm being facetious now. I'm saying they just move different when it comes to stuff like that. And they rallied their troops and they did what they did. That's what they voted for, and that's what they got. The problem is what we need to do when things like that happen to us, and not necessarily by other white people, not even that, but just in general, when stuff happens to us, we got to care more. I think this is a fucking teaching lesson. We need to care about ourselves.
Excuse me,
that's all. We need to, and it don't necessarily. I'm talking somebody. I think Bill trying to talk.
No,
I'm just taking it from. I'm not even on a whataboutism or nothing like that. I just think we just need to care about ourselves. Like they care about each other. They don't want to see their women get knocked out by them or nobody else, right? And it makes it even worse. It was a black guy doing it. Ooh. We need to care about ourselves. Well, I'm not saying we don't, but y'all get what I'm saying. Go ahead, Bill.
No, go ahead, man.
I just want to say, man, I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm getting ready to get off. I'm my wife. I'm at it. Believe it or not, man, I'm out at Walmart. My mom had to take care of something. You know how that goes. I'm gonna leave that.
Yeah. My sister, I said,
what's up? Listen, man, I love y'all. Yeah, you gotta love you too, man. You look so familiar, but one of the things,
was
man,
in Pennsylvania. That's Bill. That's Wild Bill. Stop. You don't remember Bill?
Do you remember
That's
me?
half brother. That's half brother.
I can barely see you. It's dark where you at.
Well, I had hair then now, so yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so yeah. It's been a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he found me. Hallelujah. So listen, man, I'm gonna get ready to go. Y'all mind if I say a prayer for y'all real quick? I assure you, I won't pour no water on you. I just pray for you real quick.
I might catch on fire.
Okay. Catch on fire with the Holy Ghost. Okay, we go pray. Father, in my name of Jesus, I thank you for these brothers. I pray that you bless them, strengthen them, Lord. I thank you, God, for the conversation, oh God. I'm asking you to bless that a positive input happens with it. I'm asking you to touch the hearts of the heads, oh God. Realize that it all boils back to love. It's in you that we live, who we have our being, and who we must abide. And I thank you for what you are doing. Bind the hand of the adversary that will God with a desire to have something negative or to spew hate concerning anything out of these conversations that I had. Bless these brothers according to your perfect will. And I thank you for each and every one of them. And I love y'all in Jesus' name. Amen. The Lord loves y'all too. I'll be back on, bro.
We love you too, yo.
All right, thank
you, yo.
I'll be back on.
Thank
y'all for having me. All right. And he don't remember me, Umari, but I will talk. All right, guys.
All right,
man, have a good one. All right.
Y'all enjoy your night, man.
You too.
All right.
Now,
yeah.
What I was going to say is first about them words hurt if you let them. Because like you said, if somebody say something about you that you know not true, you ain't even gonna care about it. And like so it's like it depends on who said it, when they said, and how you feeling at the time. But Will, I think that I feel like you're a little bit naive, right? Because you saying like how violence and all of this is the least form, but this is how everything gets done. Now, if you sit there, it's hypothetically that they're at that thing, and the dude, they kick the car, call him nigga. Don't nobody say nothing. Don't nobody do nothing. What you think going to happen? You think that white man just going to calm down and stop disrespecting people out there? No, he's going to get more belligerent. He's going to get more ignorant.
Can I answer something they could have done that wouldn't have been violent, but just as effective?
What?
So in today's age, if they had just videotaped him and put that online, the internet would have taken care of that. He would have lost his job. He would have been getting hate mail. That would have been it.
They said that he smacked some girl too. That was the story, a version I heard, that he put his hands on some woman.
I need to see the video.
Yeah, but they're saying they're not showing us the whole video. They only showing
this though. Let me just add one thing, and I'm gonna go back on mute. I hear you, Will, but it's this thing called second-degree murder, right? Second-degree assault, heat of the moment stuff. A lot of times when we Monday morning quarterback is all this coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? But when you in the heat of the moment, man, it's different. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but you are a cool, calm, and collective dude. Like one thing that you practice a lot of since I known you is discipline. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that, especially when you add liquor to the equation. You know what I'm saying? That's all I say.
You can't get, that's not an excuse though. You got to you get too drunk, you deal with the consequences.
I agree, but exactly. And when you get too drunk and if you hit somebody, that's a consequence as well. It's both ways.
I agree.
I disagree with the liquor stuff because, like you said, you should be able to hold your liquor and act accordingly no matter where you at under no conditions. What I'm talking about violence is when somebody disrespecting you, disrespecting your woman, disrespecting your family, disrespecting your way of life, and sometimes you just it's no other way. Like it don't get better if you don't stand up for yourself. That's just like a bully. It don't get better with a bully if you ignore him. And what he do? He keep bothering you. What happens when you? Only way you stop a bully from bothering you is doing what? Fighting back.
And can I add to that story? Can I add? Can I go ahead, Will? I know my story. All I was going to say was,
from a martial arts perspective, you want to set somebody. You want to set somebody up to do the reactive thing. I want to set people up. Like I poke you in the belly, you protect your belly, I knock you out. Like it's the reactive thing is almost always the worst option, in my opinion. You know, you should always be tactical and reserved. I'm not saying be a bitch or a pussy or just, you know, a slave to society, but you have to be tactical and wise. Like, I think like that's what we should all be aspiring to, at least. Like we just
I don't think you're wrong. I think you're 1,000% right in that. However, this is where I called you naive. Like you're forgetting the heat of the moment. You know, I know you. We done argued. I know how you get. You still be in control of yourself. Everybody don't have that. And Bill, just a little pushback on you. You right. People should be able to hold a alcohol, but a lot of times you might drink too much when you having fun. Give me another one, another round, because it ain't all kick in yet. Until that walk to the car, and you just like this. You know what I mean? It don't necessarily always result in violence, but some people get drunk like that. Listen, can you hear me? We know, all right, everybody act different when they drink, right? It might bring out good and bad and just add yeast to it, whatever, right? Some people will come, I love you, yo. I love you, yo. Here go $100. And there's some people that's tough and want to cuss you out and do different things, right? Or bully and be aggressive, right? People act different ways when they get drunk, and that could go either way. And sometimes people be feeling themselves. It don't matter if you white, black. Just because you white, that don't mean you can't be out here feeling yourself on some cocky shit. It ain't exclusive to black people. It's just a people thing. It's a man thing. It's just that person thing or whatever the fuck going on. And he went out there and ain't realized fire was fucking hot. A lot of people be doing shit and don't know fire is hot. And he got fucking burnt. I done seen this situation and it was just black people. I've seen this situation where it was just white people. I've seen this situation where it was just brown people. I've seen it when it was just women. It happens. It's because the climate of the country and with the spin on it, and it's like they pissing on us telling it's raining. We all seen it and they telling us it's something else. And that's the only reason why we talking about it. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't even be talking about it right now.
Yeah, if it wasn't a race involved, it wouldn't be. If the race factor wasn't involved, like you said, it'd have been the one-day news. It might have went viral because of the fight, but that's it. It wouldn't be talked about. The president wouldn't be. The vice president wouldn't be talking about. The FBI wouldn't be involved because it'd be just black people fighting each other like we see every day, all day on there. You'll never hear them talking about getting involved in none of them street fights. Now all of a sudden, because it's rape. And it's only because that the white people are on the receiving end of the bad of the violence. If it was the other way around, they, like you said, they would have showed the whole video. They would have showed you exactly why somebody got hit first. They would have showed you everything. So you can be like, oh yeah, that's why they deserve that because they did this. And like they always trying to find a reason to see why we deserve it, and they don't. And like we said, we sitting here. And only thing would nag me today was when I watched the video, and I'm scrolling through. I see mad black people in there. Oh, we gotta learn to do better, and we gotta that was disgusting for black people. They were savages and all of this. And I'm like, they like you said, they spinning the narrative. They win it easily because we bring it down. People bring it down their own just to try to get a spotlight. You know what I mean? So they could be one of the lucky chosen one to say that they could get rich off of the situation. You know what I'm saying? And that's my only
the thing is, I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
No, the thing is what?
I was going to say that, like, even the people who like do that, it's not wrong. Now, here's the thing: is I have no problem with holding black people accountable, right? That's fine. But for the people who's trying to get a pat on the head from white people, racist white people, it don't matter what you do. When they show the kids graduating and celebrating, racist white people had a problem with that. So if somebody racist, it don't matter what you do as a black person, they're gonna have a problem with it. But at the same time, I don't have a problem with black people holding other black people accountable. But my only problem in this is we trying to black people holding black people accountable like it's a race thing, like it just wasn't a fight. It was a fucking fight. I could hold a man accountable and say, hey, you shouldn't hit no fucking woman, regardless of what color she was. But the men, that's on them. You get what your hands called for. Period.
And to discuss a whole race over like 5 or 6 individuals when it was 100 other, it was 95 other black people there, but they're discussing the 5 that were violent out of the 100 that was there, and not even discussing, like I said before, the other people that was trying to help these white people. You felt that that was insulting.
Can you find me a video of some white kids beating up a black kid?
They ain't gonna show you none.
No, man. Phones. We all have cell phones. We have all these platforms: WorldStar, YouTube, Rumble, where you can upload fights, BitChute. The dark web is a massive place. X, Twitter.
I can show you pictures of white people hanging niggas. I mean, here's the thing. It's people out here. Hold on. It's people out here. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that black people are fucking angels, right? I'm not going to say there's black people that don't go fuck with white people just because they white. And I'm not going to sit and act like it's white people that ain't out here fucking with black people because they black. All these things can be true, but to sit here and try to make it seem like this black people hunting white people down, man, that is not I'm not saying it don't happen, but that's not the reality every day. I'm just saying violence happens and crime happens, but I don't think that's the reality every day. Go ahead, Will. Get your shit off. I triggered Will. That's what I wanted.
You're steel manning me. That's not what I said whatsoever. You know, I'm just when I asked the question about find me a video of a group of white people beating up some black people in the modern era. It's hard to find. Let me finish. You know for sure if there are millions of black people with cell phones and each cell phone has a camera. If they had evidence of mass white racism physically beating on a brother, it would be everywhere, right?
Subject. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but I just think I don't think you're wrong. You're not wrong, but it's not the other way around either. I'm not saying it don't happen.
You ain't seen no videotapes of security guards beating up little black girls that they said they stole something.
What about the police? What about the police that shot the daggone lady with the bullet? Like the police be just shooting the shit out people. I mean, it depends on like. I'm just saying, like.
No, the police oppress everyone. Government overreach and police brutality.
I agree. I'm just saying though, but I'm just saying if you want to do the color part, I'm just saying for the most part, I'm not trying to make it a whataboutism argument because I know white people get killed by the police probably more than black people in the news play it. You see what I'm saying? Because it's more of them. But what I'm saying is, to you is, I just don't think that. Is this black people on the hunt for white people? It's just not true. I'm not saying it don't happen. People don't have crime. I just don't think it's true.
Nobody said that they're hunting white people. we have a violence problem and we just deny it and just like we just keep
I don't
trying to
disagree with that.
But
Nobody denied that. I addressed that when I said we need to take up. I think when I said we need to care about each other.
Who doesn't have a violence problem? Name one race that doesn't have a violence problem.
Statistically, we have a violence problem.
That's what the problem is. And that's why I was so agitated with the brothers that's so quick to say what's wrong with us. Whereas though even if we do have a violence problem, there's nowhere in the world you can compare our little petty violence, even if you talk about the gun violence, to their violence. They destroy cities and countries.
That doesn't make it right to be violent on an individual level, even if that was true. And let's say it is. That doesn't validate being destructive and violent in your own personal life because of societal perceptions of slight.
Yeah, listen, with that too. Now that's a different situation, because when you talk about black on black violence in the community, that is always about money. That's it. That's between everybody fights about money. People kill people over money. White people kill their parents over money. Over the same money that we fighting for in the street. These white people kill their parents over. But that's what I'm saying. Like violence, poverty fuels violence. Money is going to fuel violence no matter where it comes from. I don't care if you shoot somebody.
People so violent if they have money that you kind of your logic goes against itself.
That don't what do you mean they're fighting over the money is what I'm saying. They're fighting over the money in our community. The little bit of crumbs that we have, they're fighting over the money. So of course violence is going to ensue.
But you say that white people are the most violent, but why would they be if they have the most money?
Because poverty, they want more, they're insatiable. As you can see, you got Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, the people that got hundreds of billions of dollars. They're never satisfied with no amount of money that they have. So to say that, I just told you that it's a rich kid that will kill his rich parent because he's not satisfied with the hundreds of thousands of dollars he got. He wants the $8 million that his parents had, or his $100 million that they had. So
you're just making this story up. Like it's just a massive generalization.
Well, this is what I want. This is what I want to say.
What are you talking about? It's the same thing.
That's what I want to say.
Go ahead, man.
People kill people and hurt people at where they're at. It ain't enough black people in white people area. You see what I'm saying? So you fight where you at. Nobody not gonna go to Towson and beat up no white people. If you in the hood, you fight in the hood, just like they out there fighting. Is the difference is Al's is being seen on the news. Theirs ain't. You can look on this internet right now, and it's this big white dude pulling a gun out on the police. The police is running around the police car. Guess what they did? Held them. Hey, come on. And then they tased them. That's the reality. People do crime where they live. Ain't nobody, it's rare that you get people that travel out their neighborhood to do crime. So you know, man, my point is violence happens everywhere. We fight everywhere. But Al's is highlighted. When you have
go ahead. Sorry, Uncle Marty. Go ahead.
When you have 95% of these news stations are owned by white people. Ronald Reagan, and I'll look it up.
A white person.
Excuse me?
I said a specific type of white person, not all of them.
But then there's a specific type of black person. See, that's what I don't get about you, brother.
Good point,
it seems like you defend the white people more than trying to understand what's going on in our community. because every time somebody say something, you defend the white man, and that's fine. If that's your, if that's how you feel, that's fine. But there has to be a counterpoint to what you're saying.
I think the difference I see is I identify with civility and order, which are colorless, in my opinion. Civility and order are colorless phenomena. I do realize that a lot of us human beings associate philosophical concepts with color, which I think is more racist than anything. Being peaceful and thoughtful is not a white trait. It is a great trait. It's a trait of intelligence, and that's what I embody. That's what I try to strive for. It does make me really sad. So many of us identify taking your time, thinking about things, being disciplined with whiteness. And I think that's one of our biggest challenges and obstacles.
Hey, Will, I think you're 1,000. Hold on, Will. I gotta give you the pushback. That's not
what I'm saying.
Hold on, Uncle Marty. Uncle Marty, hold on. Will, you're not wrong. But see, what you just said, you're doing it to black people. You're associating the negative behavior of the black people. You're not giving them the grace. Because like I know all black people ain't fucked up. The same way we know all white people ain't fucked up. And what the angle that we're saying, I'm not going to sit here and dismiss any violence. You know my angle, you know my stance, right? But at the same time, we're not going to sit here and act like people in general don't commit violence. Now, like Uncle Marty said, people going to fight and do things where they at. You understand? And it's different type of crimes in different type of groups. Like Bill said, people killing their parents. They might not be out on the corner or have the same poverty, but they have different situations where people hurt people, right? And in the ghetto, you might say poverty don't necessarily means that somebody should be out here committing crimes and murdering, but the street culture, not just poverty, but street culture is something different. That was a way where you had mob bosses and hitmen, and then all those people went to jail and died. Then it was a free-for-all. That's what you have now. So everybody's the hitman and the boss and all that. So it's chaotic, right? But that's the street culture. A lot of us in poverty are stuck in the streets because of redlining and banks not giving people money back in the day. And they were stuck to live amongst certain people. Thus, now their kids is picking up on it, and it's the norm. We know how we all got here. So we can't be dismissive of cause and effect. It don't mean that bad behavior is we're gonna make excuses for it, but a lot of us gotta unlearn that shit because that's what we came up in. No different than people who come up in different neighborhoods where violence is not a thing, and they see shit like what we're talking about, and that's why you're getting these two adverse reactions. Now, here's the thing, Will, you're not wrong at all. Bill, you're not wrong at all. Uncle Marty, you're not wrong at all. I see everybody pointing. I think everybody here is 1,000% right. And that's my take on everything.
I ain't out to be right. I'm just out to try to state the facts, man. And I mean,
you gonna start calling Uncle Marty sheer numbers. It's like, go ahead.
Yeah, man, because you know what I'm saying, you can fudge the numbers, but they don't lie, man. You know, we may want to do different things, but you know, man, I mean, for me, like I said, man, I don't have an issue with anybody, but to say that I see, whether we want to admit that, you know, we all should be calm and not see race. The fact of the matter is we didn't bring this to the table. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's like,
we didn't bring what to the table?
We didn't bring this race thing to the table. They brought it to the table. So we can't dismiss it like it's not here. We can't dismiss it like it's in the past. You see what I'm saying? Look at what Daniel Penny did to I forget his name. Choked this man out on the subway. He wasn't hurting nobody, and it was black people around there that could have helped him.
That person helped Halfpenny.
But then,
a black guy helped Halfpenny restrain that homeless man.
But that's what
a black man was helping Penny subdue that homeless black man.
That's hold on. let me finish.
That's you, Will.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
He helped. Yeah, he helped them, but he choked them out. He choked them out. And then when he got off, you know, all the white people, oh, you know, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Not all of them, but we said that Trump tackled and invited him in. You know what I'm saying? They taking pictures and everything else, man. Let's not act like this not real life, man. This is real life.
I guess
yeah, it's definitely slanted a certain type of way. You're 1,000% right, and that's why when like certain stuff happening, right? And you see the black conservatives coming out and they just be fucking cooning. I was going to do a whole video like, yo, you ain't gotta be this to be. You could be a conservative and not a fucking coon,
right? And just
like, it's crazy.
You know,
yeah, exactly. Because when people feel a way about you, no matter if you want to be a lapdog or not, they don't give a fuck.
Like I wasn't an Obama fan. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't an Obama fan, you know, at all. But I understood the mission.
We really lost track of any one specific topic. You know, I think we're all of us normal people who work every day. We're one colorless mass that's at the base of the pyramid for the elites to step on to get to their lofty goals. And I really do believe the divide and conquer plan to get working class peoples of all colors has worked so well. It breaks my heart, but luckily I lean on to faith and believing in something more. Yeah, I'm not denying the reality of any of these things. I feel like there's a denial of the reality of the world we live. As a young black man, the best chance you have to make a difference in your surroundings is not with your fists, unless you're Floyd Mayweather, and very few of us have any chance of being Floyd Mayweather. Your fists are not going to change this world for your family and your friends. So asserting yourself and sticking up to the mean white people and their mean words, that's setting yourself up for failure. You're never going to get any.
He slapped them, Doug.
What's up?
I told you.
He slapped them. I don't disagree with you. But now we generalizing the whole group of black people, like you said, not to generalize. Yo, he slapped them and they whooped his ass. I told y'all.
Is that on the video? It's just hearsay. Until we see the video, that's just hearsay. We don't know what happened.
I seen the video. I actually seen the video. I'm not going to play it on here, but he slapped them. He slapped them. I mean, but he slapped them.
Before that,
I'm not a Christian. I'm not Jesus.
I'm asking Will, like, what he supposed to do after that?
I wouldn't be in that type of situation in the first place, but I would be curious.
I'm just saying, you saying that he should have been the violence and all of that. Like, what do you do?
And Will ain't let nobody hit him.
Yeah,
Will
number
one of those moves on him.
It touched me. Like I would have read the situation. Like you have to be situationally aware. If I see someone in an aggressive, unruly, unpredictable manner, black, white, purple, gay, whatever, I'm not like I have a rule. If you can touch me, I'm gonna put you to sleep. And that type of situation, you know, you have my vernacular twisted. I've lived in Baltimore City for 15 years. I lived west side of MLK for 5 years. I understand. If you get within hands distance of me and you're acting incorrect, it's over immediately. So that's what
Will, we know you. I know you're not a slouch. That's not what he's saying. We know you're not a slouch. You are not under question.
Would already be crossing the street like, okay, there's crazy. Let me get away. Yo, baby, there's crazy. Shut up. Let's go.
Right. You know, but that's true. But Will, you're right. But sometimes you could be in. You're right. Stranger danger. But sometimes you could be in a situation where you just can't avoid it. Where your hand is forced. Sometimes if somebody hit you, a natural reaction is to hit them back. Now, granted, did they have to jump them? That's a whole different discussion.
On the ground, there's no situation.
I agree. Listen, but listen. Let's say if I'm with you, Will, right, and I'm drinking, we together, right? You my fucking brother, man. Will, we've been friends for like 12 years, right? Somebody slapped this shit out you before you can react. I hit him. Boom. The way we grew up, if I swing, you follow up. It could happen by a mistake. And who's to say that they didn't know that he had people with him. Because if somebody acting all tough like that, hold on, let me finish. I'm a land. Somebody acting tough like that, you don't know which way to go, Will. They might got people with them because ain't no way you that tough. People done got beat up for worse, stepping on shoes, let alone calling somebody N-word. And it's not right, but it'll be a situation where it's alcohol and young people, and that's just what it is.
I think that's like, I think, again, it's about situational awareness. It's about thinking about where you're at. Like, there's so many, like, again, like, you don't get into fights, I don't believe personally that you get into fights randomly. You're in spaces where fights happen. You and so share a negative look. You brush each other in the crowd. Fights just don't happen, not in my opinion. Like you said,
with your woman, since we doing hypotheticals, what if you out with your woman, your lady, you minding your business, and somebody come do something goofy, and you in a situation where you can't avoid it, somebody slap your lady? Like sometimes, since we giving hypotheticals, sometimes you can be in a situation where your hand is forced.
You have to do.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not condoning violence, Will, but all I'm saying is, just to move it back. Like sometimes you get no choice. Go ahead, Uncle Marty. Will, whoever.
I got a quote. Lyndon B. Johnson. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice that you're picking his pockets. Now, and I say that, but you go ahead. You ain't going out back. Go ahead, beat it. My fault.
Uncle Marty like a worm.
No. So, I say that to say this. People may want to be colorblind, and I'm not just talking about you, Will. People may want to be colorblind. But the reality of it is, clearly, a lot of people understood that, and they played off of that. Now we can take that to.
Is it a race or is it not?
Yeah, I just read it.
He's talking about after the fact, not when in the initial event. After the fact, he said people seen the event and played off of it. That's what he said. And Will, I'm not necessarily contrary to you. I'm just clarifying what he was saying. He said people seen it and played off of it, not that he's saying that it was a race thing. Not because you said, is it a race thing or not? Like he's contradicting himself. He's not. He's saying people are playing off of what happened. Both of y'all right. I'm loving this.
So I say that to say this, right? So what happened a few months ago when the white man went into the club, into the bar, and started calling them brothers niggas, and they asked him to leave, and he kept doing it, and then he started doing the monkey dance. So they whipped his ass. You see what I'm saying? Yo,
I would say that warranted. That was definitely warranted.
Why bring sand to the beach?
They tried to use their words, though, so they did the right thing. They tried to use their words first, and then it was like, man, words aren't working. So I approve of those brothers.
But
I wish I could.
But that's what I'm saying. That's my whole point, man. I remember we had this conversation a while ago, but it was about Hispanic people, and do I think that we should reach out more? Why is it always that black people have to restrain their self, but some white people, I ain't gonna say all, because my man, shout out to John, that's my man. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
I got white best friends, so I definitely don't feel that way. Shout out to my white brothers. Y'all know who y'all are.
We have to talk about restraining ourselves.
But that's what I'm saying. We have been. It has been people. It's been people throughout time, throughout history, that has restrained themselves. There are people now that are restraining themselves. But because, like I say, most of the news media is owned by white people. Of course,
Hold
that's
on.
what you
I gotta
see.
say something. I gotta reply to these comments. Somebody said this video was seen around the world. People are commenting as far as Korea, definitely not a good look for the black community. Dude, this was a group of people having a fight. This has nothing to do with the black community. This is what I mean by people want to cherry pick stuff about black people. Nobody want to focus on the kids graduating, all the different things. Everybody love to focus on that underbelly. Let me tell you something. We must be great that everybody want to compare themselves to the lowest common denominator of our community,
and we don't
not nobody else. This was a bad. This was a bad. Hold on. This was a bad look for those people who did it. Cut that shit out. So when white people do stuff, we can sit there and say all white people. Hold on. Somebody said something else, and y'all let y'all go ahead. Somebody said, black folks are the most violent people out there. I disagree. I'll say people within a certain community that so happen to be black in some cases, or white in some cases, or brown in certain cases, are violent to each other. Because white people are violent to white people, black people are violent to black people. But to say that black people on Mars is the most violent, I disagree.
See that?
Go ahead, Will. I know you disagree with that.
That's just ignorant.
That I agree
but
with.
I'm gonna say thank those people for their comments.
You agree with what?
I thank you for the comments.
I agree with Coretta James. I agree with Coretta James. No, I do think that we're statistically generally more violent. I do, like, not all of us, obviously, but statistically, it breaks my heart to say.
If we had a country, right, where the military will be considered the most violent, or we could justify it with our government while we move the way we move.
I think it's like, again, we've talked about this before. The U.S. government and the average white person are completely separate entities.
I'm not indicting white people. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I said.
My answer to your question.
Because we're comparing. Well, you know what? Maybe my comparison is wrong. I take that back. Maybe my comparison is wrong, because that is apples and oranges. I'm just saying it like when we say statistics, we just talking about like in a community amongst people, but out there, like black people never dropped a nuclear bomb on people. Black people in general are not killing people right now and acting like it ain't happening. We watching little kids with fucking missing body parts and shit and dropping bombs on hospitals and shit. That's not black people.
Well, let me go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead, and then I'm gonna ask you a question.
No, all I was saying about only a certain type of white person dropped a nuclear bomb, and I'm just
only a certain type of black people are violent. Then,
but you're not
the same grace.
Listen, you're not getting what I'm putting down. You're not.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, Will. You could say it because I said the same thing. But I'm just saying, though, I'm not saying that we angels. I'm just saying we just not. Not just us.
Hey, Will, let me ask you this. So what happened? All right, listen, Will. You say black folks the most violent, right? What happened to all the white people that was hanging black people, right, and killing them 60s, 30s, 20s, 1920s? There's not no 300-400 years ago. Some of these people and their children that they influence are still around. So you think that they just not violent no more, or somehow, some way we just don't see the shit, and then that we just don't see the shit? But there's no way in the world that you can tell me that all these people that were so violent and mean all of a sudden turned nice, or that their hatred died off with them.
I'm not saying any of that. Almost everything that you guys have said that I'm saying, I haven't said. I think it's just statistics. Like, every group of people has different things they're good at. Would you agree that we're generally bigger physically? Would you agree that, at least?
What?
White people taller on Mars. They average 6'1".
On Mars.
In the United States. No, in the United States.
Mass.
No, not height. Size. So you just
this is the rigmarole he's trying to get you to agree to a certain logic, so then you could go on and agree to the statistics.
It's not even.
You're not Will. I'm not even against you on this.
Talking
Go ahead. My bad.
There are general things that apply to all of us, and it's just
violence applies to us.
We all have general tendencies. We all have general things we have to understand. And I do agree with what you said. We have a disproportionate representation of poverty and a lack of resources in our community that are exacerbating our traits in the first place. And I think that's by design. You guys aren't understanding what I'm saying. When I say a certain type of white person dropped the nuclear bomb, I'm saying Jews dropped the nuclear bomb. You guys are still caught up in like this white versus black narrative.
No, we're not. We just ain't say it. No, we not actually.
So
when initially, no. When you said the same way you said earlier, two things could be true at the same time. It's like you got to acknowledge all of it. See, we the only ones acknowledging the whole board. We not dismissing black behavior. It's just like, but that's the centerpiece of your argument in a sense. Like you said, you would sit here going on talking about characteristics, and people have certain characters, right? Characteristics. You are insinuating that we are just violent. You're focusing on the same thing. You focus on the same thing. All right, you focus on. Nobody want to focus on the other shit.
Hold on.
Primary motivation of all of this is divide and conquer. I agree,
and we know who be. I think we both agree on who's doing that. I agree with you. Will, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I just think that you just leaving out other pieces of the puzzle.
I'm talking about divide and conquer narrative and the fact that it's being used against us so effectively, similar to how women have been convinced that men are against them. Black people have been convinced that everybody is against us and that there are no loving corrections. It's all just racism. It blows my mind. We're never going to climb out the ditch with this mentality.
Now, that's not true. That's not true. Hold on. Let me say this real quick. We do take loving correction, but a lot of times it be peppered in with a bunch of racism. If your correction is based on shit you see in comment sections on videos and shit, you'll have loving correction, but it be peppered in, and the majority of the shit do be racisms and it be fucking tropes. That's why we don't want to take none of that shit. Understand? Because nobody want to hold their own selves accountable. We the only ones that get the mirror held up to us, not everybody else. So yeah, we can take correction. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of times when you see that correction, I'm about to land. When you see that correction, it's peppered in and mixed in with racism. So it's hard to eat the meat and spit out the bones sometimes, because that's what you basing it on. When you see correction is in comment sections, it's never no face-to-face. It's only on the fucking internet in comment sections. And in those same comments, the majority of the people, before you even take the correction, you're fucking offended because it's a racist motherfucker. And you talking to, I'm a fucking conservative. I don't even do all that victim shit, but I see the same shit. I'm not fucking blind. I'm not a coon.
We're overly emotional.
I'm done.
Decisions based on that.
No, I'm passionate.
I didn't say you. I said us. Generally, we're overly emotional.
Hey, Will, I don't want no trouble. I know I seen you fight, Doug. It's good. Peace.
No, I mean I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. But it's just like we have these general traits, and like, okay, look at it like this. Like, let's say
don't bounce off. What traits are you talking about before you move on? You keep saying it, then you bounce around. What traits we got?
Hold on. Let me. I want to say this right.
I don't want the dog pile on Will lever, yo. I don't want the dog pile on Will.
Look, hold on. Let me say this. This is a conversation. There is no dog piling. In a conversation, there is no dog piling. There's one person's side versus the next. But I just want to say this. Will, you said it wasn't the white people. You said it was Jews. I don't understand.
I did not say that. Take the tape back.
Hold on. You said it wasn't the white people that dropped the nuclear bomb. It was a Jewish person. Ain't that what you said?
No, that's not what I said. What I said was it wasn't.
Rewind the tape.
Hey, Will, you did say that though. I ain't not even trying to make it back and forth. Keep going with your point, Uncle Marty, but you did say that, Will. No, it's not. I'm just saying you did say that.
All right. So you said it's the type of white person, a Jewish person. Well, because this is what I don't understand. But I'm gonna quantify this by saying this first. My father's boss was a Jewish guy. I got locked up at 10. That white man treated me like I was his grandson. Even when he died, he left me money. He made sure I was taken care of. So this not a thing, but I'm trying to understand how come you separating the white people, but you can't separate the black people. We don't separate. I can't say, well, my mother's side of the family from Jamaica. You see what I'm saying? Well, I ain't talking about that type of black people. You see what I'm saying? I just don't understand how anybody can, huh?
Jamaicans are less violent than African Americans statistically.
But that's still not my point. My point is, when you said they dropped nuclear bombs, why did you separate the races? You see what I'm saying? Because I don't understand how. Go ahead.
Ethnicities.
Yeah, I'm answering, talking about how everything is distinct and nuanced, and like, if the entire group of white people are being blamed for the actions of one part of that group, it's just as bad as what you talk about when the supposed minority of violent black people make the peaceful majority of black people look bad. I completely get your statement that the media amplifies black violence to make it seem like it happens more than it actually does. I completely understand your statement. Like, it's not rocket science. It's not even close. Now, what I'm saying is that we have a natural propensities, and it's being exacerbated by the war on drugs, by the nanny state, by imperialism of all sorts, by pharmaceutical drugs, by the complete depletion of our nutrition. Like, you think we're missing out on education and financial resources? Imagine what we're missing out nutritionally. The difference between us visually is nothing compared to the difference between us inside. What we're really lacking as people, we're not even talking about it. We're never going to address it because we just can't take responsibility.
All right, so
let me answer.
Hold on. Let me reply. Uncle Marty, hold on, real quick. See, here's the thing, Will. You what you don't realize, you're not necessarily wrong, but you're doing the same thing over and over again. You're not giving black people the grace. You're doing the same thing, the same way how you just separated white people, right? But then you made a blanket statement about a whole ethnic group of Jews. And Uncle Marty gave you an example and say, hey, I know a lot of Jewish people, right? And all of them is not in control, and all of them is not Zionist, but you're doing the same thing to Jewish people that you're doing to black people. Like, you sound respectfully, hold on. It's not to say that your numbers are wrong. Hold on, let me finish, and I'm gonna let you go ahead. I don't gotta do the back and forth. I'm gonna let you cook. You could cook me either. Me too. But what I'm saying is, what you're doing is, you did the same thing with Jewish people that you're doing with black people, but only people you giving grace to is white people. You even went far enough to separate them. But then you'll say we got these propensities and characteristics that, like, all of us violent, and that's not true. It's tough white people. What about the Italians? What about the Irish? Like, it's tough white people. And these white people, and these whole, let me finish. White people real nice will go take your whole country and your whole world away.
Italians and the Irish.
People in general, forget these fresh and fit Myron Gaines numbers that you keep throwing out here. All right, fuck all that. We on the ground. We know what's going on. We live the experience. We don't need that shit. We know what's going on. We know what's happening. We know it ain't right. Nobody's justifying it. But you got to separate everything. You sit here and talk about nuance, but you lack it when it comes to black people and Jews.
I disagree.
You're not wrong in your numbers, but yes, when have you done it?
I disagree.
I haven't done it, and I'm gonna let you respond. I'm gonna be quiet. I ain't gonna dogpile on you because you're my guy, and I love your opinion.
I haven't generalized whatsoever. I'm making distinctions, and It's just crazy if the House is
you didn't make distinctions when it comes to black people. I think you just listening to respond. You're not making distinctions when it comes to us, but you only making it when it comes to them. And then you made it when it came to white people. When you separated, you separated ethnicities, right? And then you made a blanket statement about all Jews. You said the Jews.
In the beginning of this conversation,
you ain't say some of the Jews. You ain't name people by name. It's a quick Google search. You said the Jews.
Now, okay, we can see earlier in this conversation, I said that many things can be true at once. And at that situation, there were black people trying to stop the violence. And like I said, multiple things
said that
true for multiple people. And, it's really sad. Everyone gets emotional and they start thinking it's black versus white. I'm not concerned about making anybody better but us. So yes, when I talk about improvements that can be made, I'm talking about improvements that we can make, because that's who I'm concerned about. I'm making important distinctions and nuances between the massive generalizations we make. If we figured out where the real fault lies in a lot of our societal ills, drugs, nutritional depletion, a complete and utter lack of socioeconomic ability to move.
Would you say that's would you all right, but hold that thought right there. Would you say that's the majority of black people that's lacking these things?
The majority of black people lacking what?
All the things you just named: nutrition, drugs, and all that. You think that's the majority of black people?
The majority of us are, I would say, all people in general.
Absolutely
in this
not.
world.
It's only like 13. Listen, that's not the majority of black people. I thought you was focused on black people. The majority of black people ain't on drugs and not eating fucking McDonald's every night.
Drugs, our pharmaceuticals and drugs are very similar. The thing is, we're all being slowly poisoned and toxified and removed from our families. And because of our background in this country, we are a lot more sensitive to those things. We are more sensitive to the ills of society because we don't have the family structure to protect us from it.
Yes, we do have family structure. White people fucked up too. The same. You can't, and see, now you're talking on both sides of your mouth. Because like you said in other conversations, that it's poor white people too. I see a lot of fucked up white people too. It's more fucked up white people than it is black people in the country. You know that, right? So now they're suffering from the same thing: pharmaceutical drugs and drugs. Like white people think that the junkies that we see nodding out that so happen to be white, they think they don't exist.
That's
they
not
do.
True.
And it's more of them than it's probably is black people. So what you're missing in this, I'm not saying you're wrong, but when you talk these numbers, right, in statistics, right, I think what you fail to realize, the majority of black people is not fucked up. And that's what we're trying to say to you. And everybody focus on that underbelly and say, hey, this is the face of black people. And there's a motherfucker, a productive citizen. I am offended by that. And I'm not saying that we don't need to cure the wrongs and fix this and fix that. But why are we the only ones that's worried about our fucked up group? Like it ain't no other fucked up people.
No, I haven't mentioned it or numbers.
All right, go ahead, Will.
I haven't mentioned statistics or numbers. You're just putting words in my mouth. It's a very unproductive conversation.
No, I'm not putting words in your mouth, dude. I listen.
One number. Because you're just making things up. I haven't said any numbers.
Now you said I didn't say any numbers. You mentioned statistics, and that's statistics are what? Numbers, right?
Guys,
that's what you said. All right, look. Let me relax. Go ahead, Uncle Marty. You go ahead and respond, Will. I ain't gonna say nothing back.
Let me just say something. This ain't about Will. It's not about you, brother. Who was that? Coretta Johnson. Okay. I don't know if you black or white, but you're right. According to the numbers, black people are more violent than white people. We can't deny that fact at all. But we can't not understand why we got here. You see what I'm saying?
No.
Okay, you can't understand why we got here. As I said before, If you keep kicking a dog gonna bite you. Those are just the facts. I don't care how many times people are going to rise up when they get tired. Yo, we don't own no supermarkets. We don't bring the food here. We don't manufacture guns. We don't manufacture dope. We don't manufacture cars. We don't have, and this is what I say. And this is coming from a business owner, right? A home improvement contractor and an HVAC contractor. Let me tell you, in order for me to even get in, and this is before they start cutting out minority business, I had to have a white face there to get in. They're the gatekeeper. I don't understand why people don't understand. We don't have nothing. And us, the people that work, we don't own nothing. White people got their hands in every goddamn thing on the face of this fucking planet. Everything. Everything.
How come he's not generalizing and I am? Like, it's crazy.
Because do they? Don't they? They tax us. As I said, we don't make guns.
Nothing now. Like, it's just like you pick and choose the generalizations that make.
I'm not picking and choosing. I said when I hold on. When I saw it, I said, Coretta, you're right. Hold on. No. When I started, I said, Coretta, you're right. We are the most violent people, according to the statistics. But let's see why we got here. See, there is no effect without a cause. You see what I'm saying? We just can't dismiss how we got here.
You're just playing the victim. You can't keep blaming what happened.
How are the facts playing the victim?
Because if you have a fucked up, you have to build a life up. No one's gonna save us.
Will, let me tell you something. Dude, I bring home $500,000 a year. Easy. That's not the point. We got to explain how we got to where we at. We can't not understand the facts. Nobody's not whining, but we got here for a reason. We're the most violent for a reason. We got in this position for a reason. And when you have somebody that's constantly in your pocket, you see what I'm saying?
It's okay when you say it, but when I say it, I'm missing the point and I'm demonizing the race. It's madness.
This isn't demonizing the race. This is talking about history, historical facts.
Been trying to do, and you guys have been telling me I'm sticking up for Whitey, and I'm just talking about facts. It's madness.
Dude, when you sit there and you say it wasn't the white man that dropped the nuclear bomb, it was a Jewish man. Why do you feel the need to separate? They don't separate themselves like that. They don't separate themselves.
Yes, they do. Germans work with Germans, Irish work with Irish, Italians work with Italians. They work with themselves. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, hey, fellas. Hey, hold on real quick, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I'm just gonna throw a little bit of water on the fire, right?
Let me say this real quick.
Cause he gonna have to get his shit off back. We'll go ahead.
No, it's fine. I just want to say this. When they fill out an application, do they say Italian, Jewish? No, it's Caucasian. So don't say that they separate themselves. They don't, man. So why do you feel the need to separate them? Because now I'm gonna say this: don't call me American. I'm Jamaican. That's what I'm gonna say. So separate me from y'all Americans.
Sure. I mean, statistically, Caribbean Americans are different than African
A
Americans.
lot of that crime came from the Caribbeans. That's why New York was like it was, and everybody started adopting that bullshit. But look, I'm gonna say this, right? Because we wasn't like that. We was marching and shit. But look, and
Like,
closing remarks. Hold on, Will. Hold on, Will. I got you, Will. You know, this is what you're here for. This. Hold on, Will. Hold on. Relax. Let's just. It's just a conversation. It's all love. This is what we do. It's going to be like this. Will. I'm gonna let you cook. Look, I'm gonna let you have it, and I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let you start with your closing remarks because we gotta wrap this up, right? Will, I want you to start. I want you to start with your closing remarks, and you ain't gotta go back and forth, but you could clarify your point or whatever, and say you could respond. He left. I don't know if he left or he got kicked. Bill, you want to go with closing remarks?
Nah, I was just.
I know Will ain't rage quit. Oh no, he back. I'm about to say. I know Will ain't no rage quitter. Will, I want you to go ahead and respond and go with your closing remarks. So I want to, because now I want us to be arguing a little bit. Like I get we passionate, feel what we feel. I want opinions to I think I want opinions to be respected, and I don't want nobody feel like they didn't get the be clear and concise of what they meant or being misunderstood or whatever. And I want to give you the opportunity, Will, to go ahead and clarify your opinion if you feel like you need to, and give closing remarks so we can wrap it up. And I appreciate your opinion. And I mean, it ain't a circle jerk where we just all agree. And I love the fact that we just bouncing off each other and it's different. And your opinion is respected like everybody else's, brother. And this is what you're here for. I already know where you stand. So go ahead, respond in closing remarks, starting with you, Will. And I'm muting.
So we've been talking about a bunch of topics, and I feel like we've gotten very lost in the woods. As far as the Cincinnati thing is called for, we don't have enough information. Without the full video, I don't know what happened. To me, I didn't see anything that validates that level of violence, stomping on someone on the ground, putting a woman to sleep as a man. I didn't see anything validating that level of violence. I do think we have as African Americans, sometimes we generally have a violence problem that we oftentimes will excuse with racism and past trauma. And I think that perhaps it may be true, but it's not a valid reason for the continued poor behavior. And we can only control our behavior. And my last statement is I do not identify the U.S. government and all of the several three-letter agencies with the average working class person of any color, class, or creed, except for the very top class, super duper rich will never hear about. And so when the people who ask us to mark our race on the census documents are not the average working class person. And so I don't identify them. And thanks so much for the time. At Holmax everywhere, holmaxperformance.com if you want a good workout.
Hey, Will, don't drop off. Hang on, all right? Uncle Marty.
Like, share, and subscribe. I really don't. Honestly, man, I don't have nothing to say. This was a good spirited debate, conversation, man. I don't take nothing personally, man. I just try to keep moving, man. But I guess we'll see you guys Tuesday. On what's our show name? The Situation and Unfiltered.
No, we changing that. Yeah, I don't know. And yeah, we definitely gonna be here Tuesday. The Wolfpack will be back definitely next Saturday with heated, passionate discussions like this for sure. Will is a permanent panel member, just so everybody knows. So if you like his opinion, you like where he coming from, he be here every Saturday. Bill.
All right, Bill. I just feel as though that, just like it's easy for the people to change the narrative when they have us helping them out, and now people talk about oh, individual white people, this person, that person. And I feel like to me personally, I could care less. Even my child is mixed, so it ain't like it mean I'm talking about anybody individual. But personally, I feel like that if anybody really, if you got so-called good white people that you like you and look out for you, I feel as though that they would be the people that would be putting these other people on blast if they really, really wanted to help. Financial help, doing that's easy to do. I give anybody money. We give people money all the time. That's nothing. It drops in the bucket. But what really helping, when they want our help, when they trying to destroy us, what they do, they infiltrate. Do you see any of them infiltrating their own to help us? No. So when you talk about sincere white people, that would be a sincere white person that's going to infiltrate their own to help us. Ain't none of them doing that. They could give us money all the time. You got black people that make millions of dollars, but they still ain't nobody. They're nobodies. They can take that money from them at any time. And the violence thing, closing on that note, like I said, the narrative is easy. Show black on black violence. They're violent. They do this. They're this. But like you said, like I said before, we've never hung anyone from a tree. You know what I'm saying? We've never dragged people down the street in a car. We've never cut off their genitals. We've never done so massacre to people, right? And we're talking about individual towns of white folks, not no one white folk. This was towns of white people doing this shit to people. So that you talking about we violent because they people fighting over territory. People going to fight over territory. They're going to get violent. That's where the violence is going to be escalated when they're fighting over crumbs. Because like you said, while the rich get richer, the poor is fighting over the crumbs. And there's going to be violence fighting over the crumbs. That's me. My joint wake the fuck up. That's what I call my shit.
Wake the fuck up. Shout out the Wild Bill. Shout out the Unfiltered Truth. Shout out the Will. I'm gonna say thank you to the panel. Thanks for the people who watch. Thanks for all the comments, whether you agree or disagree. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna say this on my only position is, I live in reality. I know I believe it's good and bad people, and that's just it. Some might be black, some might be white, but in the situation falls and what happened, what we originally was talking about, that brawl, you don't put your hand on no women. Period. I don't care. That's where you guys show restraint. But the shit with the men, that was all fucking fair game.
All right.
Yo,